So we went through enchants for the most part on my gear. We went to upgrades on gear. Let's go to pets. If you open up my pets here, I have a damage page, item drop rate page, an ED gain rate page, and an EXP gain rate page. We go to passives, you can see which passives I have and which I don't have. So it's best to just do it this way. I don't have the dual damage best in slot pet. I don't have the boss damage amplification pet. This pet just never shows up in anything, any flash sales, any events, any boxes, anything. Just put the pet out somewhere so I can get it. It'd be so easy and so cheap to get. I don't have the best in slot dual min damage. I actually had this from a box and I sold it. It's some easy quick money. I don't have the summonable EXP best in slot pet, or the only pet rather, for the EXP gain rate for summonables. I don't have the newest and the strongest pet, which is the strength/magic ratio pet, which gives you damage on your direct attacks, but it doesn't reflect in your stats. It's a weird system. Zodiac pet, I don't have the Zodiac pet for additional Zodiac points. I wish I did. I'd probably be way further along in my Zodiac than I am. That's for sure. Definitely slacking there. I don't have the best in slot static damage pet either. And then for a lot of my pets, even though I have a slot, it's not the best in slot. So like, you know, this crit rate's not best in slot. This tiger for crit damage isn't best in slot. This dual max isn't best in slot. This dual max is best in slot. This dual min is not best in slot. Dual damage best in slot. Attack intensity best in slot. Attack intensity best in slot. Crit second best in slot. This crit best in slot. Max best in min second best in slot. Dual min best in slot. Dual damage best in slot. Attack best in slot. Attack percent best. Normal best. Basic stats not best. I do have this sheep, I just don't ever use it. I need to get happy though. I don't know. Not best. This is a temporary pet, but it's best. Second best. Best. Third best. Damn, I didn't even realize that was the third best. I need to save up and get these pets, that's for sure. Best. Oh, second best. Second best ED gain rate. Second best movement speed. Best. These are all the same. So best. Dual crit. Best. Normal number of attacks. And relic points best. So I have most of the best in slot pets. It's probably like 60-40 or like 70-30 in terms of what I have for the pets. It's a lot of pets. This game's very big on pets and getting stats from pets. They have a major impact. Looking at potentials though, back on my damage page, I have all our damage pages. Shout out to the boss rush event once again. If it were not for the boss rush event, they would not look how they look, and they definitely look very cash grabby, whaley, spendery. They look expensive, I'll say that. But I could replace these two lines with maybe some crits. I think I have 2 more crits or maxes. I'm just not using them because I'm just trying to mix the page up and increase my attack percent, so that when I get more flat attack stats, my attack stat increases more incrementally. And then this normal damage amp is fairly unique, so increasing that stat is pretty cool as well. But I think I do have, let's see if I have some more R's down here. Basic stat, min. I know they're about to change the min max system in the game, so min might be more important than max. So I could replace some of these with some of my maxes with these mins. We don't know yet. Well, I haven't tested it yet rather. And then we got like some elemental intensities. If I play a magic class, I can swap those on. So I still have some other stats lingering around. Then I got some stats over here I'm going to be replacing, and the boss rush event is still going on. So I have 85 special stimulants I can use for the pet re-rolling. And I'm probably going to get to like 200 plus of these before the event ends. I'm just going to hold on to them because, as you all can see, there's a bunch of pets that I don't have that I plan to use them on. Specifically, I'm waiting on this great Glakusa pet so that I can put EXP gain rate on her and put her as my main EXP pet over on this page, so that I can get summonable EXP gain rate and the plus 30. And then she can just stay on this page without having to be swapped, because as of right now, I swapped Pandori from the damage page to the EXP page because of the 30% EXP gain rate, but it's still my main damage pet because of the 6% damage mitigation. All right, so the boss rush event is about to start soon, so I'll keep going through this. So yeah, I use Pandori as my main damage pet. Got lucky and got that dual max damage on him. I still need to re-roll the strength, magic, luck, and stamina lines to make him more efficient. Coming over to item drop rate, which I'll be using for the boss rush event. Got lucky and got an R tier item drop rate roll on the honey bear, which is perfect because for years it was only an A tier, so +4 item drop rate. And then the page for the most part is all S and R, so major progress there. Hopefully I get some more of those with the pet stimulants I'll be getting throughout the next week as Boss Rush comes to its conclusion. Elite potential page, got 3 R's, all S's. It's crazy that even with a page at this level, I still don't have 3.5k elite gain rate, which is the max that can get you 2 billion elite a day from grinding. It was absolutely insane. So I'm hoping, I haven't done the calculations, but I'm hoping if I get all R's, I'll be at 3,500. But I think they're going to extend the cap anyway. Either way, yeah, no complaints here. I still have a lot more elite gain rate than I did have when I first came back, because when I first came back, I think I was at like maybe 2,500 actually. Yeah, maybe 25 or 26, 27, who knows, but I've increased to 3,200, 31 or 3,200, so that's pretty good. So definitely no complaints there. But yeah, and then for my EXP potential page, I actually usually move the Pandora over, and as you can see, I have all S and R for EXP, hoping to get a lot more. Oh my god, died at the last second again. That shit is annoying. But yeah, for my EXP page, pretty much have all S's, 1 R, and then I'm using Pandora for that max. I'm using Pandora because of the plus 30 EXP gain rate, but I'm hoping to either get another Pandora, which isn't likely, or a Glaucusa to put on that page so that I can have a complete EXP page. And I'm also hoping to roll more R EXP potentials by the end of the boss rush event, or I'm going to save the potentials so I can roll more R's when I get a Glaucusa, so I can get more EXP gain rate for the Awakening 2 update that should be coming out very soon. This is the bad boat run, gotta admit, this is a bad boat run. This is going to net me an additional 14 special stimulants, but I mean, it's still a lot of resources for free, so no complaints there. But that's pretty much it for pets. Here's the EXP page, elite page, item drop rate page, and then the damage page, which I have to swap back and forth. Next, going to character upgrade, Summonables, right? So I'm using Ritrian right now. They dropped Summonable Awakening a couple years back around when I went on hiatus. And so once your Summonables, I don't even remember how this system works, I'm not gonna lie. I just know that you level your Summonables up and then they can awaken. And once they're awakened, you have to level them up again to 100. And so I only have one that's at 100 because I was focusing hard on it and I didn't understand the awakened summonable system. But this left side gives you account-wide passives. I wish I had known that sooner. I probably would have focused on the system a lot sooner. And then as you can see, my level 100 summonable, I get the 1% stamina, 15% quest reward, 1% strength and magic. And then we got plus 10 max, plus 10 min, EXP gain rate increase, strength and magic, EXP gain rate increase, EXP gain rate increase, and everything on this right side is only active when the summonable was spawned, as well as these skills are only active when the summonable was spawned. But as you can see, I don't really have anything maxed out. I can get more EXP gain rate for sure. More EXP gain rate, cooldown reduction, dual crit and whatnot. But now that I learned that I need to be leveling them all up to get their passive pages, I've been focusing on that. So Uni is level 62, got some HP, got some strength, got some HP, going for this max, going for this min, going for this stamina again, going for this HP percent, going for this strength and magic. Rich ring 74, also going for the max, the min, magic and strength. Item drop rate 15, stamina 1%. And then rich rings passives, I have most of the passives maxed out. I have one more, so about 22 more elite gain rate to gain from this, and then have to upgrade these 2 passives, which I probably won't do right away. I'll wait till I upgrade some other summonables, but these are only active when Rich Ring is active, as he is right now, because I'm using him for his item drop rate for this boss rush event. And this current boss that we're killing gives Potion of Resurrections 10. It also gives these mysterious fragments, which we'll talk about later. And then I believe this is the one that gives the key enchantment puzzles as well, and some memorial fragment boxes, which are super OP because it gives you ×4. And so I have 2,484, and all 2,484 of these came from boss rush event, which has been out for 2 weeks at this time. So we'll talk about this later as well, and why this event is so OP and how many systems that it's helping advance literally for free, just coming here to kill stuff. So yeah, Beatrice got static damage, some more static damage, stamina increase here, strength increase, just finally got to max. Min, stamina, dual static, strength and magic. And for the most part, stats will kind of be all over the place because I only recognize, or I only learn that the passive stat side of the page is account wide after I got Arya to 100. So she's the only one that I reset and actually kind of did like perfectly, or actually min-maxed correctly. The rest of these, the stats are kind of all over the place because I was just putting points where I thought they should go. So I wouldn't recommend copying these pages. The Arya page is the closest to what a finished page should look like. So I'll probably have to reset all these pages once I get these summons to level 100. But then once again, I'll do stamina, I'll do dual static, I'll do strength and magic, max min, some more dual static, and maybe stamina and decrease dual static. I don't know yet once I get this to 100. Beatrice skills all level 1. The summonable awakened summonables are super expensive to upgrade, and they definitely want you to spend all your, not necessarily all your time, but they definitely want this to be a very long-term system, and which is ironic because there are definitely many in-game players who are finished with it, which is kind of sick, but it is what it is. There will always be whales. And then Lustra, which is the main pet I'm focusing on these days. After Arya, I do Rich Ring just because it's cheap, but when I'm in dungeons, I pretty much always pop Lustra to try to level Lustra up because it's very effective. No upgrades on the skill page. In the passives, we got crit damage, stamina, more crit damage, max. And I'm going to get that min, going to get more crit damage, max out all these crit damages, then max out the strength, crit damage, and the stamina, because as you can see, it's a lot of crit damage on Lustral, so it easily makes your account stronger very fast by just upgrading it and getting Lustral to 100. So I'm looking forward to maxing that out for sure. And then I may even need to reset Lustral's page as well, because I'm not sure if I did things correctly over here. Like, I'll probably get these 5 points back off of this summonable EXP gain rate joint. Eraser, level 59, got some stamina, some strength, boss damage amp, definitely going to max out stamina here again, boss damage amp, basic, the strength and magic again, min and max. I probably need to reset this page as well in the future. And then I have no skills, no passives or active skill upgrades for Eraser. And then Guardian, no passive or active skill upgrades, but on the passive effect page, we got normal added, a lot of stamina, gonna get some more normal added, min max, probably more stamina, normal damage amp, strength and magic, and then Eraser, that boss damage amp. So with these pages, once again, with all these summonables, these are going to play a major role in increasing my HP with those stamina upgrades, and then getting some damage, a little bit of damage here and there as well. But it's all going to add up. Another system where everything adds up. It's a horizontal system that you progress as you're doing everything else in the game, because all the summonables get EXP from EXP gain rate. So just literally popping these anytime you're killing things or turning in quests to get some EXP to level them up. Next on character upgrade is illustration and codex. This is a really great one for me because after years of playing this game, I mean, I've had this account since what, I've had this account since 2017 when it transferred from OGP to Papaya, and I've only just now in these last 3 months maxed out my monster illustration page, which increases with every update. So it's going to increase again with the next update, and maxed out my item codex. Like, bro, it literally took me playing the game on and off for 8 years to max this out. That's kind of sad, because you definitely could have, with all the changes they've made to the system, I definitely had enough ample time to do this, but I've been slacking on it for sure. But I've maxed out monster illustration books. That's just killing monsters and getting their illustration. Literally, there's no cards needed for the system anymore. You literally just kill the monsters and they register into the book now. That's it. Super simple. And it's first kill as well, so you literally got to kill everything one time. So that's great. And then the illustration, the item codex, you get all these items. It tells you where to get them. When you put your mouse over it, it says obtain from on it, and you just got to register them one time, and they pretty much work first register attempt now. So there's no more farming a bunch of them in multiple attempts just to get one. So yeah, this system is extremely intuitive and easy to do now compared to how it used to be. I mean, 2017, you had to collect cards. Then you collect the cards could fail, right? Or it was either that system or they changed it to where you collect cards and the card drop wasn't guaranteed, and then once you collect the card, it's automatic success. But either that still took a while, because especially like boss monsters, if the card doesn't drop, you don't get the stat. So that just is what it is, bro. But look, you see all these stats on the right side here from all these cards. Then from the item codex, you see all these stats on the right side here. So that's very great. And then once again, this system, right, it wasn't guaranteed success. Some of these items you'd have to get hundreds of these, even thousands of these, just to get one success, to get +1 luck. It's insanely, it should be insanely time consuming and bad, but hey, I got it maxed out first attempt now. Great. Title book collection, I'm at 38 out of 60 title book sets. There's a couple sets in here that are event sets or cash sets. Like these right here, you can only get these are cash set right here. Not the craziest stats anyway. This is a in-game set that's just harder to get. I'm working on this set right here because it gives that 3% HP, which is a lot. Not the easiest to get though, a lot of RNG. It's in-game, completely free to play for the most part. You can get it faster, paying to win for sure, but you can get it free to play. Another in-game one I haven't worked on at all. This one I believe is a event based one. This one is mostly in-game and like doing the main story as well, in-game events, in-game with title books collection. It tells you exactly where to get them from now as well, which is updated. And then here we have chapter 3. I have literally one more title to get for this set, which I'll get from doing the main story quest, which I'm behind on. You look at my main story quest, I'm only on chapter 3 for the main story at this point. I was mostly recording this stuff and doing it slow so I can make guide videos, but I think I lost track of where I'm at and I deleted footage and everything, so I might just have to complete this stuff and just drop the guides. I might drop a chapter 4 guide and then people are going to ask me where's chapter 3, but as of right now, I'm doing this really slow and I'm very delayed on this. I haven't even started the subclass scenario quest. I kind of want to pay attention to it and actually read it so I can see what happened in the subclass story, but literally haven't even started this one, so gotta get to that as well. And there are some illustration book title sets that require subclass and main class story in order to unlock. And so this one is subclass, for example, actually chapter 3 subclass. So haven't gotten to that. Over here, these ones are some regular title book sets and some are story. Then this last one right here comes from main story chapter 310. I'm very close to this one, actually need to get to that. So I'll probably have like 4 or 5 title book sets in here I can get very easily if I literally just go do story content, subclass scenario chapter 3, main story chapter 3. Like it's a couple sets that are just waiting to be completed if I go do the story content, but haven't had time to do it or haven't felt like doing it. But that's just more stuff to do, right? It's always good to have options and things to do. Yeah, couple sets. So I probably can get to like 45 or like 42 to 45 out of 60, and then the remainder for the most part are either from events, one's from cashapp, and then not cashapp but gamble boxes, and then the rest are just like content that's just harder to do, literally just harder to do in-game content that's going to require running these dungeons and turning in the books to get the sets, or turning in the materials to get the title book sets. And then a lot of these materials right here, I know a lot of players who are new or returner are like, yo, my inventory is cluttered, there's so much random stuff. Just pay attention to if it says illustration book on it. It can be used for item codex, and if it says upgrade or crafting, there's a high chance that you can go to Belos Asthma, the NPC at the very far right, and trade in these items to get title book sets that you will pop the title books for. And that's pretty much it for illustration book. Let's see what's next. Go to reputation. If I go to my reputation page, pretty much maxed out on 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I'm maxed out on the first 8 9 10. The first 10 reputations I'm maxed out on. I mean, go to guidebook, it tells you exactly how to get these reputations. It's not that complex. For the monster slayer, this can go up to level 100. Right now I'm collecting these monster slayer treasures, which I'll turn in bulk to do bulk levels, and I'm getting these from the adventure board, which I'll talk about eventually. But just another great asset coming from the adventure board to progress the account, all completely free to play. Thank God, and shout out to that. But yeah, monster slayer, I need to get that to level 100. Some good stats on there, basic stats: HP, crit, static damage. Union Lights, I'm all done with that one. Chunzik Island, same thing. I'm collecting these Chunzik Island treasures to upgrade my Chunzik Island to I think 50. Maxed out at 50. This level's extremely slow though. You can also level both of these by doing the respective dungeons and killing the mobs in the dungeons. They give you the reputation, as well as turning in the quest in these areas also gives you reputation, but it's considerably slower than turning in these treasures, which once again, from a free-to-play perspective, is a godsend for maxing this stuff out. Still hella slow, but the stats are really good, and it all adds up. It all adds up to that 44 bill you saw, that 47 bill you saw earlier, and the potential 100 to 200 bill that I'll be doing at some point in the future, hopefully. Golden Universalism is in Belos, the NPC that you trade these gold marks Richtering in town. It says it right there in the description. You trade Richtering to get these gold marks to get buffs in town, and then it also increases the Golden Universalism reputation. I believe this is about to get buffed soon, so this should be progressing a lot faster. Should be able to get that to like 50 or something. And then Bounty Hunter, which is probably the most important reputation in the game right now, and I'll go over that, how we're upgrading that. So Bounty Hunter, is actually, so when you do Ely dungeons every day, you get these platinum coins, and you can get these sealed hunter mission scrolls, and you can use these scrolls pretty much endlessly. I have 16 on my account right now. You open the scroll, it gives you missions, and it tells you specifically what dungeons to go to. And so I'm doing these right now to increase my bounty hunter rep. For the most part, I only run the purple ones because they give the most rep, and these are more so in-game dungeons. And so when I run any of these dungeons, I always pop a scroll so that I can get that reputation. And then you turn in the reputation scroll. Actually, I'm going to do one of these soon, so I might as well pop one now. I'm going to rerun a 6K, the armor dungeon, to upgrade my armor a bit more. So you pop the scroll, it gives you the reputation mission. As you can see, it gives 20 million Ely, it gives EXP, and it gives bounty hunter reputation, which gets multiplied by your quest reward. And so going back to reputation page, I'm at 35 million bounty hunter rep. I would show in this video what kind of items you can get from that, but for the most part, you can use that reputation to purchase these Alvis helper potions, which you can keep popping to get one of the stats on there. So like that additional Ely gain rate plus 50, I pop that a lot when I go into Ely gain dungeons, so that's very essential and very helpful. And then this reputation is damn near infinite because they just give you so much of it from the missions. But right now I'm focusing on getting my bounty to level 50. Once I get it to level 50, it will be maxed out. As you can see, literally every level gives you additional dual damage, and then it also increases your normal added by 200, your basic stats by 100, and your attack intensity by 3. That's a lot of stats per upgrade, and it goes up to 50. So this is a very essential reputation. And then bounty also has the time skill here, the hunter's power, which I need to go reactivate myself. A 14-day skill book, which is pretty cheap to get and for the stats it gives, and pretty easy to get as well, just because of how many bounty points you get, and the NPC, the items that he sells, the exchange rate is just very fair. And then going back to illustration book, you also see that there's a bounty Hunter's Pride. I think there's 2 of them. This is Hunter's Pride 2. I've already done Hunter's Pride 1, beginner, novice, adept, expert. Once you hit certain bounty levels, you can get the books from the NPC and then turn them in to get these title book sets. That's why Bounty Hunter is so big. And then Hunter's Pride 2, Master Hunter, Special Hunter, Divine Hunter, also known as level 30 Hunter, level 40 Hunter, level 50 Hunter. So I haven't gotten these 2 yet because I don't have a reason to, considering I'm still upgrading my bounty reputation, and I can use those resources for other things. But once I get to level 50, I'll roll all 3 of these to get these books for the set, and that's plus 50 attack and intensity. But you literally can't start working on those, or you literally can't max out that set until you get to level 50. So once I get level 50, I'll just be using those points to continuously buy these potions, continuously buy the title book set, and then get those bounty title books. And then also the bounty hunter reputation is big because it gives you accuracy master once you get to the max level, I believe. So Divine Hunter, and then there's some other stat in here, I don't remember which one, but there's another stat in here. I want to say this Crit Master, either Crit Master or maybe it's static damage or strength 2. One of these stats you also get the 2 version, and then the other 2 come from a different reputation. So once again, reputation is very important. It increases stats across the board just from maxing them out. And then simultaneously, the NPCs that are associated with the reputation, they play a pretty big role in the items that they sell, and reputation potions and whatnot, and reputation buffs and all types of shit. But anyway, lastly is the Severian Empire, which is pretty much all the in-game dungeons. All the in-game dungeons are located on I think it's called Western Freos, the Silverian Empire, and pretty much running any of the dungeons that are on this map will give you this reputation, as well as turning in their quests, which is fairly easy to do because there's currently a meta of grinding the level 5800 down to 2100 dungeons for EXP. So it's pretty easy to level the Silverian reputation by literally just EXP grinding. All right, next is my Ascension levels. So I am capped out at Ascension level 9,999. These are my current stats I'm using. For the most part, I don't use the crit rate because I have storm potions, but who knows, I may need to get that crit rate back when I run out of storm potions. And I don't use the boss added damage, I'm wearing boss added damage armor for the most part. And then this is just not a good stat to work with. My left side page, boss added, is the only one that isn't maxed out. Everything else is maxed out besides defense and elemental resistance, which aren't important stats. Pretty much just maxing these all out in whatever order. You'll level this up pretty fast if you haven't finished or haven't gotten to level 10,000. You know, focusing on the damage ones, the cooldown ones, dual crit, max, and all that stuff. And then you'll do either normal added or boss added damage last. Or maybe HP last, just depending on what you need. So just do the stuff in the order of what you need. You'll pretty much max everything out on this side besides dual crit rate, or you might max out dual crit rate and reduce that boss added damage. But you gotta pick one of these two for your final upgrade based off of what you're going to do for your gear, whether you're going to go with the boss added damage set or the of armor or the boss added accessories or whatnot. You just gotta pick and choose based off of what you think you need. Do you need more boss damage? Do you need more normal damage? It's that simple. Ascension 2, I am level 8.82, aka level 882, because each 0.01 level is a full level. These are my stats. Right side, I got 2 into final crit, 1 into final max. Be honest, this system is you know, I'm very beginner with this, so can't really guide anyone in the direction too much right now. I got this 1 point in basic stats just to give me a little bit of additional HP. Probably could put that in attack and intensity though. But it's in basic stats plus 100 for now, or I could swap it around. But regardless, you can always swap the system around. It's no big deal. A lot of the stats don't make that big of a difference in the short term, but in the long term, they really do add up incrementally. Then you can swap these around too, depending on your preference of wanting more damage during certain periods. But the system's a little convoluted right now at this level because it's low. So just try to get final max, final crit, or strength magic ratio early on, and then for the rest of the stuff, I'll figure that out later. Middle part, there are some essentials in this middle part though. We definitely got to cover, and I'll try to do them in order of importance. So first one is minus movement speed for this attack intensity 1%. So that's essential. You get that to level 10, and you have plus 10% attack intensity just to subtract your movement speed, which can be circumvented, or you can essentially get back in your awakening systems, or you get back from other buffs. And there also, we're about to get an update where we're all going to get plus 100 movement speed very soon, because the survival instinct skill is going to be removed and the buff that comes from it will be essentially applied to the character. Then after that, focusing on this dual crit damage, reducing your damage reduction and increasing your crit damage. This is 200 crit damage, which is pretty crazy. Get that up just to reduce your damage reduction, which is different from the damage reduction on this side. This is actually damage mitigation. It just says damage reduction. Damage reduction is another invisible stat. But yeah, definitely want to max that out, get that crit damage up. And then the minus crit rate or additional HP. Once again, I use storm potions. I could change this in the future, but I need the HP, so that's what I'm focusing on right now for my middle page. And then on the left side, maxed out damage reduction 100 out of 100 first, so that I could die less. Then I came down to attack and intensity, increase those, max those out. After I did that, I came down here to max out normal added and boss added, and then I started putting points to max and crit at a ratio where I saw the most stats. So essentially, you got to just play with this in the fighting arena to see which one, or see how the ratio gives you more stats, like increasing this or increasing that or whatnot, because they can be even almost, but at even you don't actually do the most stats, so, or the most damage. So this is where I found the best balance, and I could be wrong about it, but as of right now, that's where I feel the most damage in my experience. And then right now I'm focusing on damage reduction plus 2, so I have about almost 100 more levels, so around level 9.70 or so I should max this out. And once I'm done maxing that out, I'll come back down here and start focusing on the max and crit again. I could get rid of some of that max and crit and go in and max this out now, but the payoff of having this crit and max right now opposed to this damage reduction, it just is what it is. And I know it's so odd to try to follow this. This is what I came up with after reset and studied a bunch of Korean LaTale player accounts, but you definitely can reduce some of this stuff now to max out the damage reduction early, and then maybe come back and increase this. Like right now, I probably don't even need this boss added damage. If we're being real, I probably could put that into damage reduction and it'd be close to being maxed out, because I have a lot of boss added damage already, which you can't tell because of what I currently have on, but I have a lot of boss added damage. So maybe I don't even necessarily need that, and I can benefit from that reduction. But then I'll be doing less damage to bosses, right? So right now we're just gonna play it like this. You can take stats out of here, move them around as much as you want, experiment with it. Maybe you just want to go full tank, full HP. Maybe you leave. Maybe you're playing EXP dungeons and you want to kill everything faster, so you put all your stats into your damages, and then when you go back to an in-game dungeon or a harder dungeon, you put everything back into HP. You can just move the stuff around. Right now, this is where I keep it to be the most comfortable. But yeah, I still have what, 91.2 levels left in this system, so very far to go. And as you can see, the stats that come from this system are pretty heavy. So definitely need to keep leveling up, but as of right now I'm slowing down on leveling because one, it hurts my fingers to grind that much, and then two, Awakening 2 is going to come out, so I'd rather level my Ascension 2 with my Awakening 2 hand in hand. So that's my Ascension system.